Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are shortcutting you straight to some pretty serious clinical knowledge about something. Well, surprisingly simple. A drink that most of us have probably viewed as just a tart herbal tea, but one that physicians are now treating with, real scientific interest.
And we're not talking about ancient history or some forgotten folklore here. The research we're diving into today comes from modern functional medicine physicians and includes some significant insights from researchers formerly with places like the Cleveland Clinic. This is evidence-based stuff.
That sets the stage perfectly. So what if I told you that doctors are finding that a simple natural brew could potentially be more effective than a lot of standard anti-inflammatory supplements, and that it works through the very same biological pathways as common medications?
Right.
Our whole premise today is finding that surprisingly potent shortcut to managing chronic systemic inflammation.
It does sound like a big claim, but when you actually look at the chemical composition, the sources explain exactly why the simple plant deserves its powerful reputation.
So our mission for this deep dive is to get into the science behind hibiscus tea. We're going to explore the evidence, the impact on inflammation, metabolic health, weight management, and maybe the most important part, we have to reveal that critical preparation secret that, 90% of people miss.
Exactly. And that's why they try it, decide it doesn't work, and then just move on.
If you are searching for a daily routine change that actually delivers measurable health benefits, you really need to understand the science we're about to get into.
Yeah, specifically the science of anthocyanins.
Okay, let's unpack this. Start with the basics, the foundational appeal. Hibiscus tea, it starts with a clean slate, right? It's caffeine-free, calorie-free.
Yep. A great replacement for sugary drinks or, too much coffee. But that's just the practical stuff. The real power is in its chemistry.
That's what I want to hear about.
Right. So what really elevates hibiscus is its extraordinary density of these health-promoting compounds. It's got vitamin C, it's got carotenoids, but the undeniable star, the key functional ingredient, is a class of powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins.
Anthocyanins. Okay, we hear that word a lot, usually with like purple or red foods. Can you break down what they're actually doing in the body?
Think of them as the chemical soldiers that give plants that vibrant red to purple color. They are extremely effective at neutralizing free radicals. And in the context of hibiscus, these specific compounds are what's driving the tea's really powerful anti-inflammatory and vascular benefits.
And this is where we hit our first real aha moment, I think.
Yeah.
Because we often default to things like, expensive organic blueberries or maybe tart cherry juice concentrate for inflammation. How does hibiscus actually stack up?
Well, the sources make a really compelling case for its superiority just based on concentration alone. While blueberries and tart cherries are excellent, they really are, the research shows hibiscus contains these anthocyanins and other polyphenols in significantly higher concentrations per serving.
So we're not just talking slightly better.
No, not at all. If you're looking for the maximum antioxidant load from a natural source, hibiscus is an absolute powerhouse. It's like a super concentrated delivery system just waiting in your pantry.
That really shifts the perspective. So what's the immediate measurable evidence that this actually impacts our internal inflammatory state?
We have objective proof. There are recent clinical studies that have demonstrated that regular hibiscus tea consumption leads to lowered CRP levels.
And for anyone listening, CRP, that's C-reactive protein, it's not just some abstract term. What does a lowered CRP level actually mean for a person?
It means the tea is working systemically. CRP is made by the liver, and its levels spike when there's inflammation anywhere in the body, from an infection, chronic stress, whatever. It's a key marker doctors use to gauge your overall inflammatory load. So if a simple tea can consistently lower that clinical marker, that's evidence that this is a therapeutic agent.
Not just a refreshing drink.
Exactly.
Okay, that leads us right to the mechanism of action, which is where this gets really fascinating. The tea isn't just broadly fighting free radicals. It's targeting a specific biological pathway.
Yes. It targets the KOX2 enzyme.
KOX2. That should sound incredibly familiar to anyone who's ever, taken an over-the-counter pain reliever. Why is targeting KOX2 so significant?
Because KOX2 is the exact enzyme targeted by many common NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. We're talking about things like ibuprofen. The sources emphasize that by inhibiting KOX2, the body reduces the production of these pro-inflammatory substances called prostaglandins.
Wait, hold on. If it works like ibuprofen, why isn't it considered a drug? And what about all the side effects we hear about with long-term NSAID use, like ulcers?
And that is the crucial distinction. NSAIDs are designed for a potent, immediate, and often non-selective chemical blockage. Hibiscus, as a natural compound, it seems to gently modulate the pathway. It offers a milder, more selective inhibition of that COX-2 enzyme, so it can reduce those chronic inflammatory signals without the harsh impact that leads to those severe side effects. It's a much gentler approach.
That makes so much sense. So it's not about replacing acute medication. It's about managing that chronic low-level inflammation. But the sources don't stop there. They link this directly to metabolic health and even weight loss.
Absolutely. That chronic inflammation we just talked about is often intrinsically linked to metabolic dysfunction. There was a small but really compelling 12-week study on hibiscus extract, and it showed concrete improvements. Participants lost overall body weight.
Was that just water weight, or did they get more specific?
They specified fat loss, specifically a reduction in stubborn belly fat. And this is important because that kind of visceral fat is like an endocrine organ itself. It actively secretes inflammatory molecules. So by reducing the overall inflammatory burden, that CRP we talked about hibiscus, helps improve the underlying metabolic inflammation. That, in turn, supports your thyroid and optimizes the body's fat-burning pathways.
It's like a systemic cleanup.
A systemic cleanup that facilitates weight management. Exactly.
So we're targeting inflammation, boosting metabolism, and you mentioned the vascular system earlier.
Yeah.
What are the benefits there?
Targeting inflammation in the blood vessels is huge. The sources highlight that hibiscus is effective at lowering vascular inflammation, which directly supports the health and flexibility of your arteries. And this action is closely tied to its proven ability to help lower blood pressure. It's a major cardiovascular benefit.
Wow. Okay, that's a powerful trifecta of action. So now let's talk about the competition. You walk into a health food store, the two teas everyone points to are turmeric and green tea. Why should we elevate hibiscus above those, according to this research?
This is a really critical analysis because it's not that the others are bad, but they often fail when you just prepare them as a simple tea because of their inherent limitations.
Okay, let's start with turmeric. Curcumin is legendary. What's the fundamental issue when we just brew it as a tea?
The problem is absorption, or, bioavailability. Curcumin is the key active compound, but it's notoriously difficult for the body to absorb effectively, especially just mixed with water. When you prepare it as a simple tea, only about 30% of that curcumin actually makes it into your bloodstream in a usable form.
So you're drinking this beautiful golden tea, but you're only getting a fraction of the good stuff. You're drinking the idea of health, but not the full dose.
That's a perfect way to put it. To get the full benefits of curcumin, you usually need specialized formulas, like adding black pepper extract or using liposomal preparations to get around those absorption barriers. Simple tea just doesn't cut it. Hibiscus, on the other hand, delivers those anthocyanins very efficiently through water extraction.
Okay, so that's turmeric.
Yeah.
What about green tea? It has EGCG. It's a powerful antioxidant. Its reputation is rock solid. What's the conflict?
The conflict there is the high caffeine content. While EGCG is definitely beneficial, the sources note that the high concentration of caffeine in green tea can actually worsen inflammation in some people.
Worsen it.
It's often due to the way caffeine elevates cortisol.
Our primary stress hormone.
Right. For people who are metabolically sensitive or maybe already struggling with chronic stress, that high daily dose of caffeine keeps the sympathetic nervous system ramped up. It forces sustained elevated cortisol levels, and chronic high cortisol is inherently pro-inflammatory. So you get a good EGCG, but you might be adding systemic stress with the caffeine.
And hibiscus just sidesteps that whole issue.
Completely. No caffeine, no cortisol spike, and you get far more of those key anthocyanins and vitamin C.
That comparison really defines the advantage. It avoids the bioavailability issue of turmeric and the hormonal conflict of green tea. But, like we said at the top, all this incredible science is meaningless if you brew it wrong. We have to address the 90% problem.
This is the most practical, actionable advice we can give you. If you just grab a bag and use warm water, you're failing to extract the necessary concentration, and you will see weak to zero results.
We need to turn this into a non-negotiable ritual for anyone listening. So what are the precise instructions?
Okay, you need heat and you need time. Step 1, use 1 cup of water that is at a rolling rapid boil. It has to be boiling, not just hot, not steaming, but actively boiling. That intense heat is what you need to break down the plant cell walls and release the compounds.
Got it. Rapid boil. What's next?
Step 2, add 1 teaspoon of dried hibiscus flowers. Now here is the critical step that almost everybody misses. You must cover the container while it's steeping.
Cover it. Why does trapping the steam matter so much?
Because the anthocyanins and other valuable volatile oils are heat sensitive, they evaporate quickly. If you leave the cup uncovered, those active ingredients are just steaming away into the air. Covering it creates a sealed environment, traps them, and forces them back down into the water. It maximizes the concentration.
I have to admit, I have definitely skipped that step 1,000 times. So how long do we need to keep it covered?
You need to steep for a minimum of 7 minutes. The sources are very specific about this. 2 or 3 minutes, like for black tea, is just not enough. You need the full 7 minutes or even a little longer.
7 minutes covered. That sounds like it'll make a huge difference. How do we know if we did it right?
The taste is the quality check. Properly prepared hibiscus tea should be intensely red and taste distinctly tart, almost like a concentrated cranberry or tart cherry juice. If it tastes weak or watery or just kind of floral, you either didn't boil the water or you didn't steep it long enough.
And what about timing? When's the best time to drink this?
The sources suggest the best time is on an empty stomach. So either first thing in the morning or maybe in the afternoon. That's for maximum absorption, since food can sometimes slow the uptake of these polyphenols.
And since hibiscus works differently than, say, turmeric, can you combine them?
Absolutely. This isn't an either situation. It's about building a whole toolkit.
Right.
You could have a bioavailability enhanced turmeric and ginger tea in the morning, and then follow up with a correctly prepared hibiscus tea in the afternoon for that COX2 action. They complement each other perfectly.
Excellent. Okay, before we wrap up, we have to go back to that essential safety warning. This isn't just a simple tea. It has a real clinically observed impact.
This is paramount. Because hibiscus tea is so effective at lowering blood pressure, you absolutely must use caution if you already take blood pressure medication, or even if your blood pressure just naturally runs low. This tea could cause an unsafe drop when it's combined with medication. You have to talk to your healthcare provider before introducing something this potent.
A vital reminder: powerful natural substances require respect. Okay, let's recap the core takeaways.
The takeaway is chemical superiority. Hibiscus has the highest concentration of anthocyanins among these common sources. It makes it a functional food superstar.
And its targeted mechanism, inhibiting that COX2 enzyme, gives it a unique therapeutic position where other things fall short because of absorption or caffeine.
But all of that relies entirely on the technique. If you try this, you have to remember the non-negotiables: fast boiling water, a covered container, and a minimum 7-minute steep. The results depend on the extraction.
So if you're struggling with chronic pain, bloating, or just looking for metabolic support, try integrating this correctly prepared tea into your routine for a couple of weeks. Look for those small, shiftless joint stiffness, better digestion, maybe clearer energy.
And, this whole journey suggests something pretty profound about the future of wellness. We've shown that a simple flower, when it's used properly, can target a precise biochemical pathway, COX2 inhibition, with clinically relevant results. This wasn't developed in a lab, it was discovered in nature.
It really raises the question, if the right preparation method for hibiscus unlocks such specific, almost pharmaceutical-like action, what other common kitchen ingredients are hiding benefits like these? Benefits that are just waiting for a researcher to discover the perfect temperature or time or combination.
The future of potent, gentle natural medicine might be right there in your herb cabinet if you just know how to unlock it.
Indeed. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the surprisingly potent world of hibiscus tea. Thank you for tuning in.